from the property tax situation. It's very important given how that's pinched so many homeowners, particularly our senior citizens who have their homes paid off and they bought it 30 years ago for a certain amount. Now they're being told it's worth so much more and they have to pony up more and more money. It's almost like they have to pay rent to the government just to be able to enjoy their property. And that's wrong. And we need to do something about it.
Just enough. I want to say this one more time so everyone understands. Ian Sams, who was the White House spokesperson for a significant amount of Joe Biden's time as president, interacted with him two times. So, we're going to continue.
Law and order, push-ups, and the pursuit of peace. So let's break it all down in another jam-packed MAGA Minute. The president traveled to Alaska to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin before hosting a productive summit here at the White House with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the NATO secretary, the president of the European Commission, and heads of state from the United Kingdom, Italy, Finland, Germany, and France, all to further efforts to end the Russia-Ukraine war. Foreign leaders have since remarked that more progress toward peace has been made in the last 2 weeks than in the past 3 years under Joe Biden. All we needed, clearly, was a new president. The president's initiative to make D.C. safe again has resulted in well over 600 arrests. As a matter of fact, since President Trump began his crackdown on crime in D.C., all crime is down 9%, and violent crime is down 41% when compared to the 10 days before the president's executive actions. The president on Thursday went to greet and thank the men and women undergoing this historic effort to make our nation's capital safe and beautiful again. And the vice president, JD Vance, visited Union Station to visit troops keeping our nation's capital safe and took some protesters to school. HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth started quite the trend this week, encouraging other members of the cabinet and Americans like you across the country to participate in the Pete and Bobby Challenge. The challenge is 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in under 10 minutes. Can you do it? We want to see you try. And lastly, you should follow the White House on TikTok, where you will find some must-see content. It was another very busy week here at the White House. We will see you for next week for another very busy MAGA Minute.
A lot of people have already looked at this and said, this looks a lot like retribution. Is this retribution?
Well, who has said it looks a lot like retribution, Kristen? A lot of people who tried to throw Donald Trump in prison for completely fake charges that were later thrown out by multiple different courts. I suspect that if the media and the American people let this case actually unfold, if they let the investigation unfold as it's currently doing, they're going to find out that what we're doing is being very deliberate and being very driven by the national interest and by the law here, and that's as it should be.